Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to a new video. This time we're gonna talk about animations. So we've talked about this topic in the past, about different packages that you can use in your Ionic application, like Animate, CSS, or different JavaScript or CSS packages. But today we will talk about two things. First, we'll talk about custom Ionic animations. So you can basically change the appearance of how dialogues enter, modals, toast, alert, whatever it is. And then I wanted to show you a second alternative, which is just Angular animations in a simple way, so you can build up an animation once your page loads. So let's do this. I've started a blank new Ionic application, so that's the only thing that happened so far. Oops, I'm not that good with the command line. So Ionic start devdectic animation blank. And for the first part, we actually don't need anything else. So let's close this and let's open the preview, which should look kind of like this. So thanks for this. Now we want to customize our animation. And if you go to the Ionic config part of the docs, you will find this great example on how to change the toast animation. So simply copy over this part. Now where does it end? I think there. Now let's change this Ionic module for root, open an object in it, paste the code inside, and you will see basically a bunch of errors right here. New animation C not really working, a toast enter not working. Let's try, maybe I will give this one try. So we can import the animation from Ionic Core actually. That removes this part, and then we can check wrapper style opacity. 1 isn't allowed, so let's make this 1. And then we can save this part and head over to our homepage. So we will check this out, what it does in a second. I just want to present you actually what this is doing, because otherwise it's hard to grasp what the code is really doing. So in our homepage, just add 2 buttons, and of course change the title of the page to something with devdectic. That's very important, otherwise the code might not work in your example. So definitely include devdectic or the Ionic Academy. That's totally up to you. So go ahead with 2 buttons. The second will be for our second example. For now, we will use the show alert functionality. And because in the standard code, it is using the toast enter or overriding the toast enter code, let's just use this one as well. So create the constructor private toast controller, and I'll also already bring in the alert because that's what we're gonna do after the first basic example. So this will be an async function. Let toast equals await. Yes, it's a hard word to type or to spell. Let's use the toast controller create, and then what's it, message, I think, my awesome toast message. Actually, I just learned that it's normally called a snack bar, right? Can you confirm this on Android? This is called a snack bar. Not sure why it's then called a toast on Ionic. I was fooled all the time that this would be a toast message, and I always use this word basically everywhere. Why is duration not wrong? It is a duration. String is not assignable to type number. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're gonna head with toast present. So we are going to show the alert on the standard way, first of all. And you will notice that normally the toast is at the bottom and nothing really changes compared to the other toasts. But now I will comment this out for a second. So like this, and then we will do a little change. So we're gonna open the custom alert. It still looks the same, but inside the code we can see that there's a custom handling for the top position. The other positions are, I think, not really affected. So let's use the top position and let's see how the toast looks in the standard way. And this is like this, basically fading in, I would say, right? So just fading in. Okay, now let's enable the code and let's see what changes. Once the code reloads, we should see a change. And you see the toast is now coming in from the top. So what's going on in this code? Actually, I cannot put everything in one page. Basically, we need access to the host element, which is just already passed in here, and the wrapper element, which is the toast wrapper. So you can actually also see this if you are fast enough. Here's the toast wrapper class. So that's the whole object. And then with these are things we can do custom transitions, custom animations, transform different elements. So I don't want to go too much into detail with this one because that's already a bit more advanced topic. Just take a look at the top case. The only thing that is changed here is that we start, or the wrapper element style starts at the top, which is right at the top, and also calculating the safe area with an opacity of 1, so it's not fading in, it is already there because we're showing it from top. And then we're using from to, which basically needs a key, transform, and then transforms from to. So hopefully you can see this. So from somewhere outside the view to 10 pixels. Okay, that's what's assigned because we're using that position top. And in the end, this somehow returns an animation, adds the element, and we got some easing. So at different stages of the animation, it has a different speed. The whole duration, we can also change this to something like 5 seconds so you see a bit better what is going on, and that's the whole animation. We will use another example to make things clear, a bit easier maybe. So custom alert, and there we see. I actually kind of like the effect. Let's do it again. The beginning is quite slow until it comes in, and at the end it slows also down again. That's because of the calculation here. So what we can do right now as well to give everything a bit more structure is actually grabbing all of the code from here and just leaving it like this, and then creating a new file. I will just do it in the app folder, and I will call this alert enter, or no, I will just call this custom alert enter.typescript. I will put in the code we already got. And now I want to make this, first of all, we need to import the animation package again from Ionic Core. And then we're gonna go ahead with export function custom alert enter. So what we're doing is basically bring a bit more structure into our code, remove the arrow to get a nice function definition. I think, yeah, that should match. And now you could use this custom alert enter right in here, custom alert enter, if you import it like this, and then it would be used for the toast enter as well. But we want to use something else. We don't want to only animate the custom toast notification. We also want to animate an alert. So still my awesome message. I would really love to see this in a real world application. So there are a few keys if you check the configuration that you can use: action sheet enter leave, alert enter leave, and that's already the one we're gonna use. So alert enter will use the custom alert enter. Nothing we have to change besides that. Only in here we're gonna use the alert controller now to create message. What is it? Header. Alert header, whatever, no position, but I think this should have buttons. Okay, and then that's an alert. I can't live if this would be called toast. All right, now that's fine. Let's head over to our animation, which can be changed in a few ways. So first of all, I think we can leave it like this. Base element can also directly be a shadow element, an HTML element, and the last part, the position, isn't available for the alert controller. So we can leave, or no, let me, I'm sure I will mess things up, so I will bring in the right code, but I'm sure it will be easier. So that's the basic definition, and we return a promise animation. So here we go. The beginning is still quite the same, but now this time we're using the backdrop. Actually, I think what would make life easier is if you look at the official implementation for the iOS Enter, which already uses all of this. So I didn't come up with all of this. I just took what is already in here and changed 1 or 2 lines. So they're querying for the backdrop animation and the alert wrapper, and then do some animation on the backdrop, which comes up, and the opacity of the wrapper and also the scale is first a bit bigger and then smaller. Actually interesting. So that's the regular animation. Actually, we could use it for once just to show you the difference between the regular animation and then later the custom animation. So the regular animation would now look like this. You should have seen this before. Open custom alert. Actually never noticed that it's a bit bigger and then gets smaller. Really interesting. So let's change this now that the alert appears from the top and went down the page to the bottom. And that's exactly the code I was already bringing in. And in that case, what we can tell is, first of all, the wrapper element to start at top 0. Background animation is still fine. We can still use this. But then we're going to use for the wrapper a transform from the Y position of the base element client height, which should be, I don't know, we can log this out. No, I will just do this. We don't have anything else. To 0. Interesting, but let's see what happens. I also changed the values in here a bit and made the duration. Let's make the duration 5 seconds so we see really great what is going on. And you can grab a nice cup of coffee and watch the alert animation. Oh, what a beautiful animation. Let's do it one more time. Oh yeah, great. I would love to have this animation in every app. Okay, the important part is you see that the animation is starting at the top, slowly approaching the bottom, actually changing the speed along the way to ease a bit in and then becoming slower in the end. Of course, 5,000 is a bit big. Maybe we'll use, I don't know, 500 or 400 or something along those lines would make more sense. But now you have created a custom animation for your alert. And you could also, of course, animate the leaf animation so it would go out at the bottom. One more thing regarding those custom animations. If you don't want to define it at the root level of your application, which is something you might don't want to have, you can do this on a per component call, I would say. So in here you can also define the enter animation, call custom alert enter at the import, because we've created that file. Maybe we did it for this case, maybe. And then you would only have the custom alert on this one instance that you create. As you can see, enter, of course it is then called leaf animation. You could supply this in here as well. Okay, great. Now we want to continue with the second part, and for the second part we also need a second page. Makes kind of sense to me, actually. We want to animate the appearance of a page. We could also use the custom transitions we created before to change how a model or page is presented, but sometimes you just want to take how the animation looks already, but construct the elements on the page in a different way. So you know this from Apple pages or other pages. Sometimes the elements fly in and appear from different directions, and I just want to give you an idea about that. So the second page was more or less optional, just because we need this in here. But what's not optional is the Angular animations package. So go ahead and add this one. And then we will have to go to our app module again and please close these, and then import the browser animations module and put it right to our imports. So this is needed in order to do our animations. So let's go to the second page. I will bring in just a bunch of bit of HTML. And then you will already see that there's something going on with the HTML. So our Ion card has a header, title, subtitle, and a content. And what's interesting now is the, I don't actually know what's it called, not annotation or element, no. I will have to look this up. Perhaps you can just leave a note below. This is now connected, or not yet connected, to an animation that we can create on the page. So I would better have copied in without this, but what we can do is add another animations array right at the top of our component. That's actually an annotation. So maybe that's also an annotation for the component. Kind of looks the same. So you can import a lot of interesting things from Angular animations, the package that we just installed. Actually, trigger, state, style, animate, transition. So a lot of interesting things. If you want to create an animation, there are multiple ways. We will just take a look at an easy way. I think I had a tutorial in the past about Angular animations as well. Just check out below this video. I will put the link to it. Basically, you can animate between different states or just use the trigger that we defined in our view. So if you're using the trigger, the syntax would be like this. That for the trigger fade in, we define some animations. So for the state, void, which is the standard state. Didn't I import the state? I did. For the state void, we want to apply a style. And here we're gonna have the opacity of 0. So that's in the standard case. If we then, oh god, that sounds pretty German. If we then make a transition from this void state to, and I will just say to any other state, I think that it needs to go in here, right? Yeah, it's kinda tricky with the brackets and everything in here. If we transition from void to any other state, so that's a wildcard, we will apply a different style. Again, we will start with an opacity of 0, but then we want to animate everything in, let's say, I don't know, 900 milliseconds. Duration and delay. We can actually have a duration and then a delay as well. Let's add a little delay as well. And then ease out, which is kind of good if it's flying in, it's coming smooth at the end. And then guess what? Finally, the style becomes opacity 1. So all the syntax and markup here is a bit complicated, so understanding Angular animations is really a topic for itself, for a whole video. If you want to see some mighty Angular animations, you know where the comment field is below. And then for the second one, I will not do the paint to myself again. I'll just bring in the trigger slide left title, which does pretty much the same, a transition from the void state to something else, and it will use in the beginning, so well, before the animation starts, it will be invisible, and it will be also outside the view, and then it will fly into the left and become slowly visible. So this trigger is assigned to both our titles, and here we got the fade in trigger. So let's see what this does to our app finally. And there we go. Ta-da-da! So the title comes flying in, actually with a delay, as you can see. Oh, there, that's my toast. And this one, the card fades in. Maybe I should make it a bit smaller. Ta-da! So now you could, of course, define more of these cool triggers, have different, why do we use actually something on the first element? I don't think we need this on the first one that we fade in. So only the second has a little delay now. But with a delay, you could construct the pages like the top thing is coming in and then slowly building up the page in different steps. And these were the two custom animation parts that I wanted to show you. The one with the Ionic configuration is a bit tricky, especially the markup, the animation controller that you can look up, and the animations that are defined are not super or not a lot documented, and you won't find much tutorials or resources on that case in the internet. The second one is of course using the standard angular animations, so you will find a lot of resources on that case if you want to animate the appearance of different elements on your page and how it starts. If you enjoyed the video, as always, please subscribe to the channel. I try to grow to 100k and I'm just 20% there, so please help me get there. New videos coming every week, Tuesday, Thursday, Ionic stuff and developer stuff as well. So subscribe, hit the bell button, hit the like button, check out the Ionic Academy, and then I'll catch you inside the next video.